Hello, and welcome to the Killer Cuties podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Cassidy, and I've seen almost every horror movie out there.
And I'm KD, and I've seen almost none of them.
So join us each week as I attempt to make a horror fan out of Katie.
As a warning, we will be discussing spoilers and some uncomfortable topics that may be in the plots, so feel free to check out the film on doesthedogdie.com first to check for any triggers before listening.
Today we're going to be talking about our first Stephen King adaptation, 2007's The Mist. Let's get spooky. All right, so I'm going to kick us off with a summary of The Mist. So, after a storm, a thick mist starts covering a small town in Maine. David and his son Billy go to town to gather supplies, and they're stuck inside when a mist envelops the store that they're in. And as some people go into the mist, it becomes clear that there are dangerous creatures within it. The people in the store start separating into sort of factions, with one woman, Mrs. Carmody, who is kind of reminiscent of Bev from Midnight Mass, which we covered in a few episodes ago. She starts gathering religious followers who believe that this is the end of days. David is not in that faction, and his group decides to go next door to the pharmacy to gather supplies after some creatures break into the store and injure some people. However, the mission fails, and Miss Carmody uses this failure as a sort of proof that she's right. It gets more people on her side, too. We also find out that a military operation nearby is responsible for the mist because they were attempting to open doorways to other dimensions. I guess that worked. So here we are. But Miss Carmody's faction eventually starts sacrificing people to the creatures in an attempt to appease them. And she kind of turns on David's faction as well. David and his group do escape after they shoot her. Rip. And they make it to his car where they decide to just keep driving until they run out of gas. They don't have any other options left. Everyone in the car uh, agrees that they don't want to die to the creatures, so they're just going to keep driving and driving until they hopefully reach the end of the mist. They don't, they run out of gas, and because no one really wants to die to the creatures, David uses the 4 bullets that are left in the gun to kill the 3 other adults in the car, as well as his own son, Billy. He then steps outside to die to the creatures himself. Only he doesn't. Just then, the mist clears and a military convoy with civilian survivors comes into focus. David breaks down as he realizes he could have saved everyone in the car if he'd only waited a few moments.
I will never recover.
It's so fucked. Like, I can't help but laugh. Like, what? What?
Oh my god. The way my chin hit the floor, I think you told me to, be prepared for an ending.
Yeah.
I I could not have been prepared for that.
No. I don't think there's anything that could prepare you for the end of this movie. Personally, I'm obsessed with it. I think it's incredible. And even Stephen King said that he wished he had written that ending. The movie it's based on a Stephen King novella, and when he saw this, he was like, "Oh, that's a better ending."
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. But the director was actually previously offered $30 million to do the movie if he changed the ending. And he said no. Yeah, he actually waited, and I think he ended up taking like half of that to make it with this ending.
Well, he did it the way he wanted. It was a choice. There just aren't words.
Yeah. It's a wild way to end the film.
I liked it though.
It's got balls.
Yeah, you always say if a kid dies, it's got balls.
Yeah. No one wants to watch a kid die. So when they do, it's kind of like, okay. Yeah. I was actually watching this with friends once, and we were talking about like movies with wild endings. And I just assumed that everyone had seen it. So I was like, oh yeah, like in The Mist when he shoots his kid and then immediately gets saved. And like the looks that they gave me, they were like, what the fuck kind of movies are you watching?
God. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Do you think he got a pass for the murders though? Like,
Ugh.
because like the simplest investigation would show that the people in the car were shot. They weren't killed by the monsters.
Yeah.
But do you think he even got a trial, or do you think the military men were just like, wink, wink, nod, nod, we get it, buddy?
I personally would rather just be sentenced to death after that. Like, "Oh, you just shot 4 people? I'm gonna shoot you? Thank you." Like, just that's how that would go.
Yeah. I think if I killed my kid, I'd be
Done.
yeah.
There's no more for me.
Especially when like literal seconds could have saved.
Oh my god, when Melissa McBride's character, just, like, the camera follows her in the truck.
Yeah, we should mention if people haven't seen it and you're watching or listening. There's a character very early on who she's trapped in the store with them and she realizes that her kids are stuck at home and she can't leave them alone. So like she's asking everyone in the store if they'll go with her to help her get her kids. And everyone's like, "Nah, we're not we're not doing that." So she eventually just ventures out at the end, like alone. And then at the very end, we see her in the group of survivors with the military convoy, and that's Melissa McBride's character that Katie's referencing here.
Yeah. I've literally never wanted to punch someone in the face more.
What? Why?
Because she was so haughty about it. There she was, she survived. Meanwhile, this poor guy just killed his kid.
But isn't that like a fun little twist of events?
I Fun is not a word I would use, but it sure was a twist.
Originally, when they were driving, they were supposed to see her dead. And that was the original script. And then the director loved her scene so much that he was like, nah, she's gonna be just fine.
Uh, ugh. I mean, I definitely helped it helped with the idea that he could have saved everybody. He could have saved everybody more than once. That guilt alone would be enough for me to be like, "I'll just find another way to die."
Yeah. They were gonna have the people in the grocery store too at the end with the survivors to show to show that even if he had stayed at the grocery store, he would have been fine.
Oh my, what did he do to those writers?
Right? Yeah, but they'd already wrapped, so the actors had left. They were like really just trying to pin home the fact that David made every bad decision possible every chance he could. It's so messed up.
And honestly, that's, like, obviously the heaviest part of the movie, but also that's really the scariest. That's what really sticks with you after you watch it, is this idea, like, how many times could he have saved all these people and his poor kid?
Yeah. I think that is something that I like about this movie is that like you think when you're watching it that he's made all the right choices. But it's
Mhm.
not until the end that you realize he didn't. Because yeah, if everyone in the grocery store was losing their minds and sacrificing people, I would get out of there too. Wrong choice. If a woman's saying, "I'm going to venture out into this monster mist, please come with me." I'd be like, "No." Wrong choice.
Speaking of the monster, what did you think of him?
Don't say what you're going to say. Which one?
I'm not go what do you mean, which one?
There were tentacles, Katie. Which monster? There were so many.
Yeah, yeah, the tentacles one.
Yeah, okay. So- um Tentacle Monster was fine. I feel like you didn't really get to see that much of it.
Yeah, you just see the horny part.
Sorry. Run that back.
Y I said you just see the horny part.
Got it. Thank you. I just wanted that for a soundbite.
Oh my
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, did you know? No, but the tentacle like monster kills Norm the bad boy. He's played by Chris Owens, who's the Shermanator in American Pie.
Oh, I had no idea. I didn't even put that together.
Yeah, well, fun fact for you.
Ah, more bad decisions by the main character, by the way. The whole generator thing, going out to fix the generator. The whole movie was about how shitty of a decision maker this guy is.
Well, I don't. Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't his fault.
yeah. I feel like he was making the best decisions he could.
Yeah, yeah, of course. That's what's scary.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say it. I haven't seen Thomas Jane, who plays David, in very many things.
True.
Not a great actor. I didn't really buy it in the end when he was like crying. I was like, babe, I don't know.
Mm, I don't think this movie was about acting.
No, it certainly was not.
Yeah, that was kind of a common theme throughout, just bad acting.
So true. Marcia Gay Harden, though, she did amazing. She played Miss Carmody.
True, yeah, and Laurie Holden did Laurie Holden things. Speaking of which, did you notice that half the cast of Walking Dead is in this movie?
I didn't, because I've never seen The Walking Dead.
Yeah, the second that left my mouth, I realized you've never seen that.
Yeah, it's very off brand for me to have not seen it though. So
Yeah, but, Laurie Holden's in it, Jeffrey DeMunn's in it, Melissa McBride, obviously, she's one of the main characters in it. But yeah, it makes me wonder if Frank Darabont is that's who the director was, if, there's some sort of relationship there with The Walking Dead?
yeah, I don't like if he's worked on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me look it up. Yeah. Yep. He was a writer for 177 episodes on The
Oh,
Walking Dead.
there you go.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did Shawshank and The Green Mile too.
Yeah, he's done a lot of Stephen King.
I was gonna say a lot of mind fucks, but I guess that's just I mean, Stephen King. Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah. What didn't you like about this movie?
Um there were a few things that I wasn't like a huge fan of. Uh These movies like all ending for me, and the rest is kind of meh, if I'm being
Mm,
honest. I was
yeah.
confused about the neighbor. Like at the beginning, they really build up this tension between David and his neighbor Brent, who, by the way, is played by Andre Brower, who plays the chief in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
He's so good in that show. Then there's this poor movie.
Yeah, yeah. But like the tensions between them get higher, and they get into this argument in the store, and then he just leaves. He walks into the mist and he never comes back, and you never find out what happened to him. And it's so anticlimactic. Like, I really thought that he would play a bigger part in the movie the first time I watched it.
Wait, wasn't he dead in the pharmacy?
No, that wasn't him, but a lot of people think it was. It was actually the one of the military men who he came in at like the very beginning. He came into the store and told the three military guys in the store that they needed to hurry and that he was going to the pharmacy. So that was
Mm,
him. And then you just never find out what happened to Brent.
weird, weird. Because they had that whole thing about the tree falling down on his property or whatever.
I know. It's so confusing.
I wasn't a huge fan of how they portrayed that character anyway.
Yeah. It was very much like the angry black man trope, which just should have never been a thing.
Yeah, and this movie is not even that old.
Well, it's 2007.
Okay, that's closer to 20 years than 10, I suppose.
Yeah. So it's like that hurt to hear, but yeah.
Yeah.
It is fairly old, but I think it's also important that like as we go through these movies, a lot of them are going to be dated. A lot of them are going to have content that's not appropriate for this day and age or just not acceptable. So, I don't know, I guess I think it's important to call that out.
Sure, yeah, agreed.
Yeah. And kind of on the same note as the neighbor, the mom. Like David and Billy go to the store at the beginning, and yeah, there's a lot going on, but like we never hear about her. Like they never mention her again until they get in the car and they find her dead. But the whole
Mhm.
time, David's having this flirty thing with Amanda, one of the people in the store, and it's just weird. Like it felt like the movie was trying to get us to root for David and Amanda, which is a wild thing to do when he's got a wife at home.
Right? Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, apparently in early drafts, they were supposed to have already known each other and were having an affair.
Oh, yeah, that came out.
Yeah, and
Uh,
it definitely, like, showed and I almost feel like they should have just kept it in because it would have at least made more sense as to why they were so flirty.
it would've made the ending that much more tragic, right?
Well, I don't know, then kinda don't you, like, not root for him as much?
I guess that's true. But he had to kill her.
That's true. Yeah, I get your point. But I feel like that wouldn't have made him, like, as sympathetic of a character if, like,
That's true, yeah.
right off the bat, he's just cheating.
Yeah. I think it makes sense why it was cut, but it makes a lot more sense on why those 2 had so much chemistry throughout the movie, because that's what they were going for originally.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Have they remade this yet?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. I think it's about due. The production value is not, my favorite.
Okay. You want a missed remake, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I just, honestly, I don't think they can remake it because everyone knows the ending, or, like, they couldn't do the same ending, and how are they gonna make it better?
Yeah, they can't.
That's true, yeah. I don't know of another movie that has this good of an ending. Can you think of any that would beat this one?
No. I was kinda trying to think about it when I was, like, preparing for this. I was like, "What's a comparable movie ending?" But I don't think I could really think of one. I mean, there's a lot of movies with, like, fantastic endings, you know,
Mhm.
like Sixth Sense or Shutter Island.
Yeah,
Um,
Sixth Sense, that's what I was thinking of.
yeah, but it's usually because there's, like, a twist, right? Not just because it's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, true, 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 true. Well, Sixth Sense is kind of a what the fuck moment too. I haven't seen Shutter Island though, so I wouldn't know. Is that a horror movie?
It's more of, like, a thriller.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Do you know though the Mist like mentioned was based on a novella and the novella actually inspired a video game called Half-Life. And I was like, "Oh,
Hmm.
I want to play it," but it's a first-person shooter and I suck at those. So, nope.
Yeah. I've watched some, streamage of Half-Life.
Oh, how was it?
Well, I mean, it's an FPS, but I enjoy one occasionally.
Fair.
I looked up a poll on IMDb, by the way, of the most depressing/disturbing movie endings. You wanna do top 10?
Yes, please. I mean, like the Mist was definitely on there, right?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. Um, Ex Machina, is that how you say that?
I think so. I've never actually seen that.
Me neither. Memento?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can confirm. It's really good, but it's a bit depressing.
Ugh. Next is Dancer in the Dark.
I've never even heard of that.
Me neither. Mystic River, and then Gone Girl.
Honestly, Gone Girl, I was just like, good for her.
That's another one that I think strays from the book a bit, though.
Oh, does it? I haven't read the I have it, but I need to still read it.
Yeah, it's a good one. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that's a tough movie. That's
Yeah. Old Boy.
yeah.
You know that one?
Yeah,
Is it awful?
it's rough. I kind of forgot about that one.
Ugh, I'm jealous. I've only seen a handful of these movies. 7?
Okay, yeah. Yeah. What's in the box? Just watch it.
Okay, okay. I
Everyone
believe
in
you.
the world who has seen that movie will understand that reference.
Okay, okay, good, okay. Requiem for a Dream.
That's yeah. So people always put that one in like the it's not a horror movie, but it should be category.
Really?
Yeah, it's disturbing.
Isn't that the one with, your favorite person?
Fuck Jared Leto. I'm gonna say it right here, right now. Title of this episode is now "Fuck Jared Leto." I hate that guy.
I don't know. Yeah, we could do a whole episode about how I almost joined his cult.
Yikes.
That's number 2 though, Requiem for a Dream, and then number 1,
The Mist.
Mist, and it's kind of by a landslide too. So I don't even need to watch any of these other movies because 'cause they'll never compare.
True. I think you should at least though watch Memento and Old Boy. Those are great films.
Okay. All right. A lot of the other movies lower on the list I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. You know what I do think though? I kept thinking about Train to Busan when I was watching it. Like, because I feel like this movie tried to do the whole ensemble cast that you grow to care about, but they
Mm.
just like didn't do it as well. Like Train to Busan, you had very small moments that immediately made you fall in love with these characters. Where in this movie tries to do that, but I don't know, I wasn't that attached. Like when people died, I was just like, meh, rip.
Okay, so here's the thing, between The Mist and Train to Busan had great acting.
It sure did. And this movie, they were having a great time, I think.
Yeah, yeah. No, this movie felt inherently like late '80s, early '90s. It did not feel like we were almost at 2010 and making really good movies.
You know, I think that's what I dislike the most about it. That it's almost camp.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it would have been so much better if they had just gone full out and been like, yes, like this is almost just a horror comedy at this point.
Well, I mean, the monsters gave off that vibe.
Yes, but then like they were all taking it so seriously. Like it's a movie that took itself too seriously. And if they would have just had fun with it and really leaned into that camp, I think I would have liked it a lot more personally.
Or like the complete opposite. Like I mentioned before, if it had the production value of like A Quiet Place, where you're seeing up close to the monsters, they're really freaky, would have been the whole package. It would have had a great ending. It would have been fucking scary.
Yeah,
This wasn't scary. This is not scary. How scary do you think it was?
one.
Yeah, 1. Yeah. I think the idea of having that happen to you at the end is the scariest part.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like making all the seemingly right choices and having them be wrong is the scariest part. But to me, it just doesn't it's a creature monster movie, which to me personally, it's it's not scary. It's more fun than it is scary to me.
Yeah. Are there any creature features that gave you a fright? Like the creature itself? Like, fuck, I wouldn't want to see that in the wild.
Mm, I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of movies that really scared me the first time I watched them. And I think they were all like people killing people. Like that to me is the scariest because I don't believe we're gonna, let other dimensional creatures into this world, and I don't believe in supernatural stuff. I'm very boring. I'm sorry. I don't believe in any of that stuff. So it's not scary to me because in my mind, it just couldn't happen. And maybe
Yeah.
one day a ghost will take me out and I'll be dead. But until that day comes.
You have ghosts. You have a ghost in your house.
Okay, I mean, some people think I have a ghost in my house.
I think you have a ghost in your apartment.
I don't.
It turns off all your lights.
No, I realized what that was. The power
A
went
ghost?
out. No, the power went out, and when I turned it back on, it turned on the light. Because okay, so it's powered by remote. So when the power its default is on. So when the power went out and then came back on, it recorded it as being on.
Okay. So why did your power go out?
Like the whole city block went out.
No. It was the ghost.
Literally, Los Angeles Water and Power contacted us to let us know.
Okay. Well, I'd like to see those messages because I'm not buying it.
Okay, I can forward you the email we received.
Uh, uh, no, but I agree. I agree though. It was not a scary movie. Quite the contrary.
Hmm.
How sexy was it?
I feel like our answers are not going to align here. I said a 1. It's a lot of bugs. I'm so sorry. The one tentacle just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is a lot of bugs. It's a lot of bugs. But okay, the tentacle was a little sharper than maybe it needed to be.
Yeah, it didn't seem like like a fun tentacle. I hate that I've said that. Mom, please don't watch this episode.
New title of the episode. Mom, please don't watch this. No, because of the tentacle, I give it a 2.5.
Okay. So it's a 1, but then it gets a 1.5 for the tentacle, so
For the
putting it at a
tentacle.
2.5.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if there were fewer bugs, like if there had been actual tension between David and Amanda,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, then maybe it would have been a little higher. But yeah, 2.5 for the 2 minutes of tentacle. 1 star for every minute of tentacle.
Wow, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. I had a great time watching this.
Oh, good, good. It is a fun movie.
No, it is.
Yeah. Okay, how fucked up did you think it was?
Pretty high. Very high. The ending alone.
Okay. What did you rate it?
4?
Oh, okay.
What did you say, 2?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Should I give it a 2.5? Like it's just the ending though. Everything else is like not that fucked up. The points alone
Yeah.
for me are just for the ending.
I literally just told you that the entire world thinks that this movie has the most fucked up ending of any movie.
No, you said it had the most depressing ending.
Pressing slash messed up. Oh, okay, disturbing. Disturbing, excuse me. Depressing slash disturbing.
See?
But what is fucked up if not disturbing?
All right. 2.5.
That's what I thought. No, I'm just kidding. Go with your heart. Your heart said 2. Yeah. My heart said 4.
You know what? No. 2.5 because the spiders coming out of that guy in the pharmacy,
Yeah.
that bumps it up a little bit. I did not like that. That was not for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. And that half goes to fucked up and not scary, right?
Yeah, that was just fucked up.
Okay. Agreed.
Yeah. I'm trying to get over my fear of spiders. I really appreciate them for what they do. I don't want them near me.
They can be cute. Haven't you ever seen a jumping spider?
Oh, yeah, like the close-ups of them. I
Yeah.
do think that they're cute. And like the bigger the better.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand my logic there, but if it's a medium-sized spider and it gets in my hair, that's where it lives now until I brush my hair, which could be weeks from now.
Relatable. I don't even think I own a hairbrush.
Yeah, but if it's big, then it's kind of cute because you can like see its facial features a little bit more. And I know
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it is. Like if it's on me, I know it's on me. I don't
True.
like it when it like I think there's a hair on my arm and it's a little guy instead. I don't like that.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, see, I'm more afraid of crickets than I am of spiders.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not so much anymore. I had some immersion therapy.
You just sat in a bucket of crickets or something?
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Kind of. I worked for a reptile zoo, and people would come in and buy bags of crickets for their reptiles. And I never wanted to do it, but they made me do it so that I would get over that fear. So yeah, crickets, roaches. I'll just pick them up and throw them outside now. I really don't like killing bugs. I'd rather just pick them up and take them outside. Even ants.
I don't want to kill a bug, but like you got to get out of my house.
Okay, so you put them outside.
No. Because I'm scared. I'm scared it's gonna jump on me. Okay, we've strayed. I don't know how we
Yeah.
ended up here.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean there were a lot of bugs in this movie.
True. Bugs is a good topic for this film because it was mainly bugs.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I think being in a glass grocery store with a monster outside, that might be my worst nightmare so far. I did not like the idea of a glass house and like the monster being able to see in.
Yeah. It's it's not ideal.
Yeah, not for me. Yeah. Overall though, what did you think of the movie?
It's mixed. I think it's like a 2 or a 2.5, and it's mostly for the ending. I think it has to be a little bit higher than what I would normally rate it because I really love that ending. I It's so great. I love it so much.
Yeah, it really is. It really is good.
Who thinks of that?
I was gonna say 2.
2. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, just for the ending. Because it's not good acting, it's not good monsters, it's not good graphics, there's no set design, it's a fucking grocery store, I guess, and the pharmacy.
Yeah, but I think I almost don't mind that. Like I think it's kind of creative when movies like tell a story that all takes place in one location. So I don't necessarily hate that.
Yeah. It just didn't give them an opportunity to like make up for the places where they fell a bit short.
Fair. Yeah. I think I give it a little bit of leniency because it was almost 20 years ago. So it's like,
Okay, but at what year do we stop giving that leniency?
do we ever have to? Because isn't technology always advancing? Like aren't we always going to be finding new ways to make things look cooler and better in cinema? So like everything will always be a product of its time, right?
Suppose.
Except Jurassic Park. That shit looks real to this day.
Yeah, and that was 1993. So
Yeah.
I think you just answered your own question. What else even came
Mm.
out in 2007 when The Mist did?
I have no idea.
Avatar came out in 2010. So any movie after that has no excuse.
I need you to stop using Avatar as like the pinnacle of film. I fell asleep 3 times trying to watch that fucking movie.
Oh my god.
Sorry. I can't do it.
Okay. Okay. The one horror movie I had seen before all this came out in 2007, Paranormal Activity.
Mm.
But that's found footage, so that doesn't really count.
Yeah, you don't really have to have as high of a production value for found footage.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there were any like creature features or anything that would have had a lot of digital effects. Um,
Ooh, a 30 Days of Night.
oh yeah. Not that I know what that means. Halloween. Halloween, Sweeney Todd.
Wow, the original Halloween came out in 2007.
No,
I'm kidding.
I'm not that dumb. Um, okay, you know what? You're right. It's a product of its time.
It was kind of a long time ago.
Yeah. So you gave it a 2.5?
I was debating between a 2 and a 2.5.
Would you watch it again? Is there rewatchability?
I would watch it again if I was watching it with someone who'd never seen it before.
Like me?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I would watch it again just to see someone's reaction to that ending. 100%.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I would almost pay money to see people reacting to this movie.
Someone literally just said that we should record ourselves watching the movies.
Yeah, that's true. I would, but I don't I don't think I would have much of a reaction if I recorded myself since I've seen almost every movie on our list.
That's
Also,
true.
I hate the idea of putting makeup on to record myself.
Yeah, put makeup on to watch a movie in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about that. All right. Would you survive, Katie?
Um, do the people in the grocery store survive?
If we want to go based on what the original vision for the movie was, if the director had had his way and the actors hadn't left, then yes, they would have been included in those like survivors at the end.
Okay. Okay. Then I think so.
You would have stayed.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just start throwing people to the monsters and you're just vibing with them.
Well, no, I would be in my own little faction.
Okay, okay. But you would have stayed there.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think there's anything getting me out of that store. There's food, there's warmth, there's company, there's relative safety, I suppose. Yeah, I'd be way too scared to go out into the mist.
Okay. Yeah. I also said yes, I would survive.
Yeah.
Uh because I never leave my house. So I probably wouldn't realize that something was happening until the
Mm.
military came knocking on my door looking for survivors. There, oh my god. I shouldn't even admit to this, but in 2008, there was one of the worst floods in Iowa's modern history. And
Ooh.
I didn't know that it had happened until my mom mentioned it in passing like 2 days later. I I was a teen, it was summer break, I was practically nocturnal. I wasn't watching the news, I was just on the line all day long. And so, like, I really think that I would make it through this movie by sheer force of ignorance.
See, okay, we talk about this every time we do this segment. Where are we when this starts? Like, are we in the grocery store? Are we in the safety of our own homes?
I think as long as you're saying that you're in the same situation as the characters, you're fine. Like, you don't have to be in the same location, but as long as you're saying, the mist with creatures has enveloped your town, I think that that's fair.
I nothing's getting me outside. Actually,
No, you'd see that tentacle and fucking run into its arms.
you're not wrong. Yeah, I just remembered the tentacle.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm not, like, proactively going into the mist, but I'm not seeing the tentacle. So, like, I'd be fine.
That's true, that's true. If you never leave your house, then you wouldn't even know?
Yeah, yeah, and if I'm at the store and I'm not helping start the generator, I still wouldn't see it.
Yeah. And if you think about it, I think the only reason the mom died was because the windows were broken. Like, they could get in easily.
See, that's another thing, like, why is glass I don't understand, do they have to be in the mist? And that's why even a glass barrier helps?
I think so. Like, I think the creatures live in the mist, so they don't really venture out. And if they are interdimensional creatures, then, like, maybe they don't even know what glass is. They just think, like, "Oh, I can't get, like, to them." So they don't know they
Right.
can just break it.
Yeah, that would make sense. But also at the beginning of the movie, like, no amount of money could make me give my neighbor a ride to town.
I don't I don't know a single neighbor that I have. So yeah, I wouldn't let them get in my car either. But if I knew them, like it was very clear that David and Brent had some sort of relationship beforehand, and if their car was like completely destroyed and a storm was coming, I could see letting them tag along.
Hmm,
Not me, like I'm not doing it, but I could see how this might have played out with other people.
yeah, you can see how it could happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not doing it.
Fair. You know what I have been enjoying though is that like as we go along, we can sort of relate these ones back to movies that we've already covered.
Mhm,
Like when I was thinking about Train to Busan and the ensemble cast and how like people kind of divide in high pressure situations or like Miss Carmody and Bev from Midnight Mass, there was a lot of connection
mhm.
there. Oh, and at the beginning of the movie, there's actually a poster for The Thing on David's wall. So that was fun too.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I forgot about the thing entirely.
Like 2 episodes ago. don't you think about it again? You take this time and you go think about it.
All right. Well, good one. Well, okay.
I think it's fun. It's not the best movie ever. It's a fun first watch. And it's definitely fun if you have like someone who's never seen it before. Is it the best movie I've ever seen? No. But I think being a fan of horror means you're gonna watch a lot of bad movies.
Okay, but some of the bad movies are still good.
Yeah, that's the point. It's like pizza. No matter how bad the pizza is, it's still pizza.
Okay. Well, I was gonna argue, but I don't really have one.
Look at that. Look at us coming together.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for today. If there are any movies you'd like to hear us talk about, please let us know in the comments or shoot us a DM on our socials.
Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you back here next week when we talk about 2022's horror comedy, The Menu. Bye.